Good morning. We are now in San Francisco waiting for our boat to go to Alcatraz. I'm super excited.
I think this is the best place for a prison.
The best place?
Yeah,
well,
not in the city.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And it was like super bad criminals in here. Like a huge, like the worst of the worst shipped there.
The most famous one.
Yeah.
For us now, the most famous one.
Yeah, right. And so we'll see. We'll let you guys in on all the fun facts that we learn along the way.
Yeah.
So it's like a 15-minute boat ride, right? Like 15 minutes?
10 minutes, 15 minutes. Yeah.
And we can see the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah.
Your first time. Very excited to see it.
Yeah. Okay, babe, you're the leader. You explain everything.
Okay. So this water tower is one of the most visible landmarks in San Francisco Bay area. So when the Native Americans or Indians took over and protest this land after the prison closed for 19 months, they would project their messages up there so that everyone could see them. We're going into the main cell house of the prison. There's a little audio tour that you can listen to that gives you all the information about the place, so that's cool.
I think this is the place where they come in the beginning. This is where you take a shower. Maybe they do here all the administration.
So Round is super happy because they have it available in English and in Dutch, so he's got a Dutch one. People speaking in the narration, there's 4 different inmates that are talking and 4 different correction officers that narrate the whole thing. So that's pretty cool. That it's not just like some random person, it's people that actually like were here and lived it. So this is the first aisle quarters. This is where all of the new inmates would come at first, and they would get brought into these rooms, and this is what they look like when they started. But they were all issued 3 packs of cigarette a week, even if they didn't smoke cigarettes, and they're allowed to smoke in the library and in their cells.
Yeah, I think then it's a good way to, when you don't smoke, then you can make money.
Right, to sell off your extra cigarettes, yeah. And could you imagine what this place would smell like if you had everyone smoking cigarettes all of it?
They tell you also how wide and how long it was. It was 1.5 meters by 3.
5 feet by 9 feet.
Yeah,
and by 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
So what happens for guys that are tall? Block. This is where they have solitary confinement. So if you're in here, you are in isolation for 24 hours a day. They were let out once a week to shower and to have exercise. Once a week, and that's it. So this is what happens. This is where you go if you're bad.
This is where you go when you are bad.
Well, if you're bad inside the prison.
Yeah. But this cell is a little bit bigger. Yeah, they give you, when you are more bad, they give you more space.
When you're in the other cells, you aren't just like granted everything, like access to the yard and everything. You actually have to earn everything that you get. You earn letters, you earn time outside, you earn everything. The only thing they give you is food, medical, and somewhere to sleep without having to do anything for it. So this is one of the solitary confinement blocks. The regulations said that they needed to keep the lights on, but they did not. So they were just in there in the dark, all by themselves. are the little visitation boxes, so you can sit here and talk through to your visitors.
Where's CD Street?
It's so thick.
CD Street.
So New Year's was always the inmates' favorite time of year because they could hear the free world from all the noise that they were making over on the bay, and it would just like ring in the ears. They could hear the fireworks, and they could hear laughter, and they could hear women speaking, and so that was like their favorite day of the year. Every year was New Year's. So these were two cells were home to two escaped prisoners. They made fake heads and put them on their beds to trick the prisoner guards. And they used spoons that they stole from the kitchen to enlarge the little vent. And they escaped that way. The place is pretty small. I mean, I'm a small human, and this is how big it is. And then think there's a bed there, so can't do much. And you also have very minimal privacy. Squat in here, you're looking right at your neighbor across the hall. So, maybe not the most pleasant poop spot, if you ask me. This is the dining area, and they would get 20 minutes a day, or 20 minutes 3 times a day for their meals. And they would get a fork, a knife, and a spoon. So they say that this would be the most dangerous time in the prison. And at times, there was 200 men in here at a time. That's a lot of people in this area. I mean, it's a big space, but so behind these bars is the kitchen, and in there they had a little knife rack, and they had outlines of all of the knives. So if any would go missing, the guards would know like exactly which one that they're looking for. We got a nice mirror here to fix this crazy hair because the wind here is insane. So keeping your hair under control is not easy. It's also not warm at all. Like my hands are numb. But there is one other cool fact that they actually had to segregate the blacks from everyone else. So this is for their safety because the rest of the prisoners are so against them, prisoners and the guards. And so in this hallway, there was about 5 to 10 cells that they used specifically only for blacks. They didn't, everyone else could be together like the natives or the Spanish or whites, but only the blacks were all separated for their own safety. It's crazy. But yeah, that's crazy. It was definitely an intense prison in here.
Yeah.
It was only open for like 50 years, right?
Yeah, not a long time.
Yeah.
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 But it looks also not, of course it looks not new, but it's also not an, so when you see the world famous prisons on Netflix, it's not like this.
Right, yeah. I mean, it was built in like 1912. Well, it wasn't built, it was transformed into a prison.
Yeah.
1912. Military barracks. Yeah. And then they closed it, when was it? 1963?
Yeah.